Good morning, Sairam students. I hope that you all are fine and studying at home. Students, in the last video, we have started with the second unit of Beehive and we have completed that portion, that is Sound of Music. As you know that every unit has one prose portion and one poetry portion. So today in this video, we are going to study the poetry of the unit second. And that poetry is Wind by Subramanya Bharati. Who was Subramanya Bharati? Subramanya Bharati full name was Chinnaswamy Subramanya Bharati, who was also known as Bhartiyar. He was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, Indian independence activist and a social reformer. He was also known as Mahakavi Bharati. He was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil literary figure of all times. Let's begin with the poem. This poem was originally written in Tamil, but it was translated by A.K. Ramanujan in English. A.K. Ramanujan, one of the most prominent Indian poet. And this poem, as you all know, whenever we heard the word wind, or whenever a thought or an image is made in front of our eyes when we heard the word wind, is of destruction. Wind always comes with destruction. It always destruct everything. Wind has a quality that whenever it comes, it always differentiate between two things. That is the strongest section and the weakest section. Because whenever wind comes, the weakest thing crumbles down, it breaks down, and the strong thing stand in front of it. In this poem, wind is the symbol of problems of life. Here, Subramanya Bharati has tried to symbolize the wind as the problem we face in our life daily. Like whenever a problem comes in our life, the weaker people always crumble down. They always bow down in front of that problem and weep. But the strong people face that with a smile. So in this poem, he has actually described, or he has actually relate the quality of wind and the problems of life in the same way. That how they are same. That how the wind is a symbol of the problem we face in our life. So let us begin. The poem describes the power of wind on nature and human life, and it focuses on the violent aspect of the wind. Before starting with the explanation, there are certain words in the poem. Let us see that also. The first word is weakling. Weakling means weak. The second word is poke. Poke is to push something, to push someone. Third word is crumble. Crumble. Crumble means to break. Break down. The fourth word is steadfast. Steadfast. That means unmoved. When it stands still, that is known as steadfast. Something which cannot move is known as steadfast. And the last word is firm. Firm, which means to make strong. Be strong, be firm. And one of your home assignment is that you all have to write the sentence with this word in your notebook. And please, again I am repeating this, don't use any separate notebook. You can use your old notebooks or your rough notebooks. Okay, so let us begin with the first passage of our poem. The passage is, wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the window. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the book on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You bought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weakling. So here, in the first line, the poet is asking, or he is advising, or he is ordering the wind that you should come softly this time. Because whenever you come, You break the window shutters. Shutters are the panes of the window or the doors of the window, and you always scatter the papers here and there. You always throw the books which are kept on the shelf. And what you did, you throw them all down. Whatever things are kept above, you throw them all down. And you always tore the pages of the book. This time you bought rain again, and you are very clever. He's saying that the problems of our life, in the last line he says, the problems of our life or the wind are very clever because they are enjoying it to make fun of the weaklings. Because in this way, whenever the problems comes into our life or the wind comes, they always shatter those things which are weak. They always create problem in those things which are weak, because strong people have the ability to stand in front of the problem or in front of the wind, because uh, they have the ability to stand in front of that with their full faith in them. They have the confidence to face the problem of the life. But the weak people who don't have that confidence in them, they always scatter, they always weep. And that's why the wind, or you can say the problem of the life, they enjoy it. They poke them again and again because they enjoy this. So the second stanza says that frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Here, frail means weak and crumbling means break. So, whenever the wind or the problem of our life or the problems of life come, they always crumble, they always break the weak houses, weak doors, weak rafter. Rafter are those wood which are used to make the roof of the house. They crumble the woods, they crumble the bodies, lives, and heart. These last three things are here referring to the problems of life. Problems of life always crumble the heart of the person, those who are very weak, and even they crumble the life. They break the person, even they take away their lives, because weak people don't have, because they are not so much confidence to face the problem which are coming into their life. They succumb themselves in front of the problem, they bow down themselves, they never stand straight, never try to face that problem with confidence, with assurance that they can fight it. So that's what the writer, or the poet is trying to say here, that whenever the wind, who is the symbol of the problems of life, comes, it always break the weak things, because weak things always bow down or surrender themselves in front of the problems, in front of the strong things, and they consider that problem of life is more stronger than they are, and that's why they surrender themselves in those strong things. And that's the problem. The last line is very important. It says that the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Here, the poet is saying that the wind is a god and it winnows. Winnows, as you all know, is a process through which shafts are separated from the grains. In the same way, the wind has the quality to separate the, whenever the wind comes, it always separate the stronger things from weaker things, like the problem of life. The problem of life also do the same thing, that when we can easily differentiate between the peoples who are weak and strong, because when we see a strong person facing the problems of his or her life, he or she always face that with their full confidence and assurance, and with a very beautiful smile on their face, because they are a mature person. They can do whatever they think, they can handle the problem of their life in their own way. But the weak people cannot solve their problem, will run here and there, will scatter themselves, will hide themselves from the problem of life, will hide to speak up to those problems. because they don't have that confidence in them to face the difficulties of life. They just can't take it. And that's the thing that the poet is telling us there, that wind or the problems, they always differentiate, they always separate the weaker section from the stronger section, or they differentiate, they come to differentiate between the strong and the weak. Whenever they comes, they always comes with the exam. The wind comes and it always break all those things which are break, and whenever the problems come, it always break the weaker people. And that's what he says here, that the wind god winnows means it separates the strong and the weak, and it crushes them all. Crushes whom? Crushes the weaker section, the weaker people. So this is the second stanza. Let's move on to the next stanza. So the next stanza is, he won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the door firmly, practice to firm the body, make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friend with us. So here the poet is trying to say that what whenever we will ask him to come very softly, it will not, he will not listen to us, because whenever we ask the problems to don't come in our life, they always come in that moment only. So that means he is trying to say that those problems will never listen to us, they will never work according to us. So don't even try to change it, let's change ourselves. Why can't we become the stronger person? Let's do something. That is the first thing, let's build strong home. So to save ourselves from the wind, let's build strong homes. That strong home here symbolizes strong body. He says, let's joint the door firmly. That means to close the door of the home very tightly so that the wind can't enter our house. The same way, join the door firmly. Door firmly here symbolizes the heart, that we should close the weaker section of our heart very tightly. Practice to firm the body. Practice that we should not shiver in front of the problems. We should stand straight and have an eye contact with that problem. We should not shiver in front of that. We should make our body firm. We should make ourselves strong. Make the heart steadfast. Steadfast, that it should not move. Let your heart should not shiver in front of the problem. Make it strong. And do this. You should all do this, and then the wind will become friend with us. And then only the problems of our life or the wind will become friend with us. These are the things, if we follow such procedure, that if we are going to make ourselves strong, then the problems will be friend. When the problems also comes to know that that person will not surrender in front of us, so we are weaker in front of that strong person. So here the poet is trying to say that whenever the wind comes, make your home strong. It will not crumble the home, then it will not crumble the door also. If you will close it tightly, it will not enter into the house. You should make your body very firm, it should not move. Even your heart should be steadfast, that it should not shiver in front of the problems. We all should make ourselves strong, and this how we can make the wind our friend. We can make the problems our friend. So this is in this paragraph. In the last stanza, the poet says that the wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. So he says that the wind always blows that fire or extinguish that fire those who are weak. That means the problems of our life will always crumble those things which are weak. But the wind always help that fire to become more strong and strong, which is already very strong. That means the problems of our life will always help the stronger person to become more and more strong day by day. And he says that his friendship is good, that whenever you become friend with the problems, it will always be beneficial to you, because whenever it will come into your life, it will make you more stronger and more confidence. And that's why we will start praising him. Him here means the wind or the problem of life every day, because we now became friend with that, and we now want to become more and more strong um, with the problems of our life, that how with the passing days of our life we can become more and more strong and become more mature. So this is all about your poem The Wind by Subramanyam Bharti. I hope you understand the explanation of this poem. Now, the next thing is what actually the message of this poem is. The poem carries the message that one must develop mental toughness and physical strength in order to survive the hardship of life. If a person is feeble that is weak, he will break down just as the weak building crumble down in the harsh windstorms. Therefore, destructive forces should be turned into good friends with strength and determination. So, this was the message given by the poem. Now, the home assignment. There are total 5 questions for your home assignment, and you all have to do this after reading the poem on your own, not once, not twice, but thrice, and try to give the answer on your own after reading and listening to the explanation of this poem. And this was all about your second unit of Beehive, and I hope you all understood this poem. Thank you, students.